petty terror. And the pongee person was so competent, so quietly sure, so angularly graceful among his brakes and levers. Fanny stole a side glance at him now and then. He looked straight ahead. When you drive a mountain steamer you do look straight ahead. A glance to right or left is so likely to mean death, or at best a sousing in the Thompson that foams and rushes below. Fanny ventured a question. "Do you know Mr. Hale?" "Hale? Took him down day before yesterday." "Down?" "To the village. He's gone back east." Fanny was not quite sure whether the pang she felt was relief or consternation. At Estes village the blonde god handed her over to a twin charioteer who would drive her up the mountain road to the inn that nestled in a valley 9,000 feet up the mountain. It was a drive Fanny never forgot. Fenger, Ted, Haynes Cooper, her work, her plans, her ambitions, seemed to dwindle to puny insignificance beside the vast grandeur that unfolded before her at every fresh turn in the road. Up they went, and up, and the air was cold but without a sting in it. It was dark when the lights of the inn twinkled out at them. The door was thrown open as they swung up the curve to the porch. A great log fire glowed in the fireplace. The dining room held only a dozen people, or thereabouts, a dozen weary, healthy people, in corduroys and sweaters and boots, whose cleanly talk was all about climbing and fishing and horseback rides and trails. And it was fried chicken night at the inn. Fanny thought she was too utterly tired to eat, until she began to eat, and then she thought she was too hungry ever to stop. After dinner she sat, for a moment, before the log fire in the low-ceilinged room, with its log walls, its rustic benches, and its soft-toned green and brown cushions. She forgot to be unhappy. She forgot to be anything but deliciously drowsy. And presently she climbed the winding stair whose newel post was a fire-marked tree trunk, richly colored and curiously twisted. And so to her lamp-lighted room, very small, very clean, very quiet. She opened her window and looked out at the towering mass that was Long's Peak, and at the stars, and she heard the busy little brook that scurries through the inn yard on its way from the mountain to the valley. She undressed quickly and crept into bed, meaning to be very, very miserable indeed. And the next thing she knew it was morning. A blue and gold October morning. And the mountains! But there is no describing a mountain. One uses words, and they are futile. Fanny viewed them again from her window, between pauses in dressing. And she meant, privately, to be miserable again. But she could only think, somehow, of bacon and eggs, and coffee, and muffins. End of chapter 18.